Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Anthony Tiger, but you'll often hear others call me either Anthony or Tony. I have a bit over 20 years of gaming experience with an emphasis on tabletop RPGs in general, but D&D specifically. I moved into the Valley about a dozen years ago, and I fell into the Fellowship crowd somewhere kind of in the middle of all that. I'm fairly new to Torg, the setting and the system, so I'm not super versed with the original version, um, or the setting in general. But I have been really enjoying learning about this new version of Torg, specifically Eternity, which is updated and streamlined, as far as I know, a little, which is nice for someone who kind of likes basic settings like me, systems in general. So a little more about me outside of my gaming experience. I am 40, and I feel every second of it sometimes. I'm a father to three wonderful children. Two are children, one's an adult. Ranging from the ages of 12 to 22, with my oldest daughter just pretty much about ready to make me a grandfather, which is kind of scary. Last but not least, my wife is my best friend. She's absolutely amazing, mostly because she allows me to play games with my friends, such as this. Anyways, my most notable hobby, other than gaming, of course, ultimately boils down to my involvement with a group called the Society for Creative Anachronism, which is just colloquially known as the SCA. In a quick and dirty nutshell, it's kind of like medieval reenactment with an emphasis on arts, sciences, and combat of that 1,000-year time period. Um, Typically, which is why you'll see me generally play martial leaning types of characters. In our long-standing tour game, I do just that. I play Okami, or Wolf in Japanese, who just happens to be an electric samurai, sort of storm knight from Pan Pacifica, who dons special like samurai armor with an electric katana and similar features. However, this time around, I'm going to be playing something a little bit different than what I would normally play. A gentleman by the name of Xavier Delhome. He's very simple, often confronted with scenarios that far outstrip his countenance and bearing, driving him to seek ever increasing and more complex ways in order to complete tasks in this new and expansively confusing environment. Anyways, let me introduce myself. I am Xavier Delhome. I was saved, likely from certain death, during the initial invasion while I was visiting my family in New York. And while I never did get the name of the man or the woman who traveled with him, I'll never forget them, both of whom made me realize that the world around me was changing in ways that I could never understand or likely ever comprehend. I had to adapt and learn and fast. And so that is exactly what I did. Now, 6 grueling, long months later, I'm a storm knight, back home in Utah, with I wouldn't say elite, but with a strong group of gentlemen who I've come to know very well and respect, ultimately, as if they were an extension of myself. And really, I've never been what you would call a man of faith, per se, believing this or that as a whim would come. But I've definitely seen true miracles in action since the invasion. And now I strive to emulate them on my own, if possible, whatever that comes to mean. There's a war within me, one between the supernatural and the metaphysical. And much like the war that surrounds me and us all, in truth, whether we know it or not, only time will tell who or what will stand victorious at the end. I only know that united or divided, both within or without, I cannot and can no longer ignore the fight and just sit by idly doing nothing. I am a storm knight, and this is the task that has been put upon my shoulders. Thank you.